Today we're reacting to Sky Sports Saturday Social, Robbie and Rory Jennings tier listing their top 10 wonder kids in the Premier League. I think they've got one from each club. They've picked out 10 of the most talked about under 21 players. Let's go.
Robbie, first up, Bukayo Saka. Unbelievable player.
If he disagree with that, trust me.
No,
End of the show.
Straight in A.
Yeah,
Gotta be, isn't he?
Yeah,
Is he the best youngster in the league?
Yes.
I think at the moment he is.
Bukayo Saka in at number one that's a W. That's a massive W. Well done, Robbie.
Not be is because he's so experienced now that and he's so good now that it feels almost unjust to compare him. Like you can't compare Bukayo Saka to Brendan Johnson. It feels unjust because he's now so good. He needs to be compared to the very best in the world.
I think Robbie's right there.
We will be comparing him to Brendan Johnson because he's one on the tier list, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But I just want to bring it back to Bukayo Saka. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I'm putting him close to being the best right winger in the world.
Yeah. He's up there. I think what remains is going to be like when we get into the Champions League. How does he perform in that? I'm confident he'll do really well. But I think once he sort of cements that, then you can start putting him in that sort of world-class bracket. But he does it for his country. He does it consistently for Arsenal. He was our best player last season as well.
Robbie's right.
Smith Rowe. I just think he's just a absolutely brilliant.
Do you know what I think?
As well.
Robbie's 100% right here. Bukayo Saka, I always say it wrong, is incredible. Is he the best right winger in the world? Probably not. Not yet. You have to see him in the Champions League next season. And we could see the best right winger in the world. And he's under 21. Insane.
Attitude, do you know what I think really does demonstrate his brilliance? The fact that he has that position in the England team sewn up. It's his now. Like, over the years, there's been some debate. We've seen Mason Mount out there. We've seen Phil Foden out there. We've seen loads of different players given an option. And when you think about the tussle that's going on the other side, at one point that was Raheem Sterling's, but that's now in jeopardy. When you do the England team, it's Kane, first name on the team sheet, Saka, next name on the team sheet.
Yeah.
He's a child.
I'd agree.
It's amazing.
Kane, Saka, Bellingham, they're just nailed on certain players. But yeah, amazing player. I think we'd all agree, got to go in A.
Absolutely. Who's the next?
Fair. W. That's fair. Massive dub.
Ceiling-wise...
Just go in the order you've got the magnets there. Go in the order
you know,
you've got the magnets there.
Garnacho. I'm going to put Garnacho, right? Man United.
Garnacho next.
I'm probably going to have to...
Still only 18, I think you've got to remember.
For the ceiling, I think he is.
I might put him in the A, you know. I might put him in the A because...
Wow. Garnacho in the A. I mean, how are they rating these players? Garnacho, like potential-wise, I'm sure, stick him in A. But has he done anything yet? I mean, if you're rating a player, surely you have to rate what they are now, not what they, in theory, could be, right? I'd put Garnacho, like, now, C, B, absolute tops.
Remember, you
only have two in A.
We're only allowed two per category. That's the only thing we do. I think Garnacho is class. And, when you think back over the season, you've got defining moments for Manchester United.
So they're only allowed two per category. That's interesting to note.
Remember, just before we broke for the World Cup against Fulham, he scores a last-minute winner, a teenager doing it. It feels very Manchester United, and his pace is electrifying. The only reason I would say maybe we've got to be a bit careful here, Rob, putting him in A, is because we're only allowed two per...
Yeah, do you want to bring him down into...
I'll bring him down into B.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can always move the players around as they come, because it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's all
Oh, that's not fair. You move them around as they come. Where's the challenge in that? I think B is fine, yeah. I think B is good. Good choice. W. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Robbie's just whacking everyone in A. These guys are good, though, to be fair.
Now, he's doing it at the moment at Brighton, right? And his ceiling will be higher than Brighton. He's only 18, and his ceiling will go higher than that because if he keeps doing what he's doing now, he will get that move to an even bigger club. And, he's really, really impressed me.
And the list of clubs that are being linked with him.
He's so good.
The club's keeping tabs on him. I mean, it's the very elite of Europe.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Some of the goals he's scoring as well. The goal in the cup against Grimsby where he takes it down, two touch out of his feet and bends it in the bottom corner.
No, he's a brilliant player. I'd be inclined to, I was thinking that we need to be a bit careful here, but I can't see anyone off the top of my head thinking about this eclipsing Ferguson in that.
Would you take him at Chelsea in the summer in your number 9 role? You've got a number 9 hole there.
Obviously, he would start for Chelsea tomorrow. He'd obviously start for Chelsea.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay, next up.
Next name on the, up as a magnet.
Who's next?
Order, Robbie. You don't need to do them from A to E. Just pick him in random order.
All right, from Liverpool. I can never pronounce his name.
Bajecic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh.
I'd have to put him in maybe in the B category because again, I think his ceiling is high. No?
It's difficult with him because injury, right? He must have been injured towards the tail end of the season because I haven't seen him play for ages. But when he was playing for Liverpool, he looked like a really grown man, like a grown-ass man player who was world class for a while, right? So potentially there's an argument to maybe put him in A, and maybe it's recency bias that kind of has Ferguson above him in many people's eyes. It'd be interesting to hear what the guys have got to say about that.
I like how you're doing it though. You
don't have to build from A to E. You can go
I genuinely...
This isn't Tetris.
Doesn't agree with the foundations from the bottom. Yeah.
It's in Tetris.
You like that game? Cheers, mate.
That's a good one.
Thanks, mate.
But I think... I'm just looking at what he's done this season.
Yeah, he does look very tidy player, doesn't he?
18, 19?
Mm-hmm. And the
in
position
the
that he
midfield.
plays, to play that position with the maturity that he does is very impressive. He's so cultured on the ball. The future is huge for him.
Sad for him that he's out for the season.
Yeah,
obviously picked up that injury. He's now out for the season. I think that's a big blow for Liverpool.
I like this so far. I think we've got it right of the four, but
I don't even know who's coming next. But I reckon Robbie puts him in C.
I mean, the Chelsea name that's to come, I think, is a very strong candidate to go high on this list.
All right, let's go with that Chelsea name. Where is he?
I know who you're going to go here. Badiashile, right?
Badiashile, who's come in and, for me, made the biggest impact of any of your signings.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Enzo Fernandez has been good as well, but I think you're right. The jewel in the crown of Chelsea's £500 million that we've spent, I think you're right, is Benoit Badiashile. And I think we've made a terrible error not having him available in the Champions League.
Yeah, he's been brilliant.
Yeah.
So we put him in...
I mean, saying Badiashile's been brilliant is surely overrating him, like, right? He's been okay, but Chelsea have been terrible. So what, like, I don't get that. Don't get that at all. But I get him going in E. I'd stick him in E, to be fair. No, I'd stick him in, like, C or D, to be honest. Go on, Rob.
I just can't cope. Okay, so
C. I'm going to put him in the C.
I think that's really harsh on Benoit.
Yeah, he's Badiashile.
I don't think that's harsh. I think Robbie's got that spot on.
Now as well, when you look at the competition replacements they've got there in the international
and
team.
I think at that age, to be a left-footed centre-back who is just so in demand, left-footed centre-backs, as dominant as he's been in the Premier League.
To play for Chelsea and France.
Come in January.
Yeah, and change the shape of the defence.
He has been good.
The other thing is to remember...
Has he been dominant in the Premier League? I don't think you can say that.
Moved him.
You know when Thiago Silva got injured?
Yeah.
The level of performance didn't drop at all.
Yeah, and as you said, not including the Champions League squad very, very harshly. So do you now swap somebody out? Do you want to move him into C?
Maybe we get a few more on the board and then we can... Right.
Do you not have to... You don't have to include under-21s in the Champions League squads, though, do you? Who knows?
Okay.
Brendan Johnson.
Like
him.
I really like Brennan Johnson, probably because of the Welsh connection. I think he's done really well this season in like an average Nottingham Forest team. I think he's done better than Badiashile.
Very good player, Nottingham Forest.
I think it'd be unfair to stick him in D or E.
Better, young player, good finisher.
Yeah, I agree with everything, but his ceiling isn't as high as, say...
5 goals and 2 assists in 2023.
Yeah. 7 goals this season for Forest.
No, I think that's way too harsh. D.
I do like this player, Olise.
Michael Olise.
How can you say... What has Evan Ferguson done that Brennan Johnson hasn't done? Like, Brennan Johnson's surely scored more goals in the league than Evan Ferguson. Definitely played more minutes, right? I mean, probably got more assists. Like, I get putting Ferguson above Johnson, but A, B, C, D. That's a huge gap. Like, I don't get that.
Where would I put him?
I mean, he's a fantastic player, Olise.
Put him in a...
Olise next.
Obviously, went to Palace from Reading, looked excellent there, scored a great goal against Manchester United in the last minute this year, but...
E. You put an Olise in E. Let me get the stats up. Olise started 31 games in the Premier League for Crystal Palace this year and played 37. That's 2,749 minutes, right? That's good. I mean, that's Garnacho has played about 10 minutes per game, whereas Olise's played 90 minutes like 30 times. He's only scored 2 goals, but he's got 11 assists, right? And you're putting him in E. You're putting him in E. under Badashil. It's a joke.
Actually gifted. So
Okay, well,
just
to
for
be
now,
fair,
I might shift it.
To be fair, I think it's clear to make the point that these aren't like he is not bad footballers.
No.
These are just like
It's just
all of these
ceiling.
players are
It's
fantastic footballers.
It's just that Olise's not going to have the same ceiling as Saka. It's not
And
offensive.
of course, worth pointing out, we did stipulate that there's got to be 2 players in each category for them.
2
as well.
players have to be.
It's fair enough arguing at the ceiling, right? But, like, surely you've got a higher ceiling if you're literally playing 30 games a season in the Premier League now than a player who isn't doing that. Do you know what I mean? Brennan Johnson, Olise should be higher on this list. Brennan Johnson, 33 starts, 8 goals, 3 assists, right? It's not an incredible numbers, but is it more than like Garnacho? More than Ferguson, probably? Let me check. I mean, Ferguson's numbers per 90 are excellent, but he's only started 6 games for Brighton. He scored 5 goals and made 1 assist, right? And you're putting him above players who play 30 games a season at under 21 in the Premier League already. No, fellas. Come on.
Category. Where are we
3
going
more
next?
remaining.
Who we got, Rob?
It's tough, man. I like this kid, man. Nonto.
Nonto.
I mean, excellent player.
Yeah.
Really is an excellent player. Sort of reminds me of like a mini Bukayo Saka, the way he plays. You know what I mean? Like,
Busy, isn't he?
Already
Yeah.
capped by Italy as well.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the bargains of the season, by the
Yeah.
way.
I mean, he's great, and he's shown glimpses, but it's just glimpses, right? Let me look his numbers up. Started 14 games, which is okay, and he's scored 2 goals and made 4 assists, right? Why have you got Badashil and Gnonto above Johnson and Olise? Why?
£5 million. Yeah.
So young.
His
Unreal.
ceiling's very high as well.
His
I think,
ceiling,
'cause
yeah.
he's
When
so
you think
young.
about the potential to be playing for Italy at that tender age, I feel
And they're not challenging each other, which I find is odd. They're all just like, oh yeah, great choice. Yeah, stick him in C. Oh, he's a great player. Great ceiling. Oh, his ceiling is great. They've all got great ceiling. The Wonderkids.
category.
I think there's a name coming that is going to mean there's a lot of movement on this board.
Yeah, I mean, what about
Rico Lewis? He can't go in D. Rico Lewis cannot go in D.
No, he can't.
go
He
in
can't
D,
because he's already playing for Manchester City. He's already playing for Guardiola, which immediately places him above Nonto, for example.
Does it?
It has to.
I'm starting to think, does he even go ahead of...
Does it put him above Garnacho?
You've got to think Rico Lewis is
Rico
playing
Lewis
in a position at right back that is
But he's not, though. He's played like 3 games.
a system to learn in the Premier League in Pep Guardiola.
Also, who he's keeping out of the team as well?
Yeah.
Man
Carl
City with-
Walker.
What? Stop getting Wonderkids wrong.
Yeah, I think you've done well there.
Who's the final?
You've moved Garnacho all the way down from A to C.
And again,
Here we go.
Amadou Onana, the
Amadou
Everton
Onana.
player. Wow. I could.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. I don't even know who he is.
He's just been so good for Everton this
yeah,
season.
I remember when we played him at Goodison.
Stay up this season, or finishing amongst the relegation spots. Is he not a player that all of the top 8 sort of sides will be looking at as a potential
I
young
would
central
potentially
midfielder?
have him over Johnson. I'm just looking at any changes I'd make. I think that would be my change. I think I would have Onana over Brendan Johnson. But aside from that, I think this is...
I would have Nonto higher personally. I think if we're talking ceilings for the
Yeah.
age
Probably-
group,
probably
that
makes
might
me
be-
take out those Smithy. So we
Yeah.
might...
Okay, so they're starting to move players around, right? Okay, so let's not judge them too harshly yet. They haven't made their mind up. I mean, I'm just looking at Onana's numbers here. He started 29 games, scored a goal, and got 2 assists, right? From, I'm assuming, defensive midfield. In an Everton team, non-penalty XG of 0.2. I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, surely that's better than someone like Rico Lewis, who's played like 5 games. Yeah, he's looked good, but come on.
There's no obvious person to...
And you got to think Rico Lewis 18, Garnacho's 18,
Yeah.
Bajcetic 18.
We've also given them a wild card option, haven't we? So we said there's another player that we haven't thought. Well, we have thought of them, but we obviously stipulated that you can only have 1 per club. That was the
From 10
stipulation.
clubs.
So we said one other player you wanted to bring to the party. Who are you bringing?
I'm bringing Carney Chukwuemeka.
Okay.
I think he is potentially... We're talking about ceilings here.
Rory, what? Who?
You've got to remember, he is already the 4th most expensive player that Aston Villa have ever sold.
Means nothing. That means nothing.
That is how highly he is rated. That is how much money he...
Not getting much game time, though, is it?
No, he's not.
You could see in Rory's eyes that he's already questioning his own statement.
Getting enough game time.
Ruining Chelsea.
He's not getting enough game time, I think.
Just said it.
Right?
Nobody's ruining anybody. he's not getting enough game time, but I think he's on course to play more for Chelsea this season than he played for Aston Villa last season.
Yeah.
I think that
Which means nothing.
of the move to Chelsea, he didn't play as much towards the latter half of last season. Gerrard stopped playing him and that. But ultimately, ceiling-wise, like I truly
player.
believe that Chuck Maker will go to the very top.
That's it. Well, if Rory Jennings truly believes it, stick him in category A. Why not?
Okay.
Good
and
player
you'll
if he
bring him
gets
to
the
the
game
table.
time, but I'm going for Gabriel Martinelli.
Yeah, having a great.
Come on, son. Is he under 21? Martinelli. I think he is. How is he not on this list already? He should be like A, without a shadow of a doubt. He's literally 21 years old now. So, listen, it depends when his birthday is, etc. But if he goes on the list, he goes on the list A star. He goes above Saka for me.
Talking about 20 millionaires. £6 million. Came to the country, couldn't speak English. Has been brilliant since he's come in, but now he's found his feet at Arsenal. And yeah, going back to the Mudryk thing, if Mudryk costs 88 million, what's he worth? He's been excellent.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. 100 million plus.
I'd have Martinelli if I was putting him in a category.
Go on,
I'd have to have him up.
Yeah, you would.
I'm saying his ceiling
And yours?
is really, really high.
I think Chuck Maker, if we were putting him on here, I think he'd be similar to Garnacho.
Shut up, Rory. He would not. Disappointing end. Thanks for watching, guys.